Welcome back. I'm Dr. Sheik and I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. And really quickly, who do you trust and why? I want you to take a minute and I want you to think about that. Are you the type of individual who believes that most people in your lives that you have an intimate relationship with, that can be family, friends, romantic partner, if you have any type of interpersonal relationship with, are you the type of person that believes you should trust that person with every aspect of who you are, emotionally, physically, and mentally? If so, how would you feel if I were to say, I can guarantee you with about 99% certainty. Nothing is ever 100%, so I won't ever say 100%. But with 99% certainty that there is not a person in your life outside of yourself. And sometimes some of us struggle with this within our own self, trusting our own selves 100%. I can almost guarantee you with 99% certainty that there is not a person in your life today, including yourself for some individuals, that you trust with every part of who you are as a person. And that doesn't mean that you're surrounded by untrustworthy people. That just means you are a human living a very human experience. And I say this because trust itself, just like all other emotions, exist on a continuum. There is not this all or nothing thing. There is not a black and white thing. It's levels to who we trust. It's levels to how much we trust them. And first we have to identify, what do we mean by trust? And we have to define trust. And trust itself has many definitions. Trust, most times when people say it, although they haven't given a lot of thought to what they meant by it, when we say trust, that's a very vague statement, because trust can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. Trust, in the sense of emotion and behaviors, for most people tends to mean that you believe that the person that you're dealing with or interacting with is someone that's reliable, that's honest, and in some ways dependable, and can give you some level of support and is safe to be around. That's what we mean most of the times when we trust someone. So if that's your definition, I want you to take a moment to think of that one person in your life. And if you have multiple, awesome. That person or those people in your life that you can count on for all of those things. And I can almost guarantee that you are going to have a hard time finding one person. And that's because as human beings and as individuals, we all have strengths and weaknesses. We all have ways that we're able to be there or to be sources of support in other people's lives. And there are different types of trust. I'm just going to name a few ways that we trust people. We trust people to keep our secrets. We trust people to remain faithful. We trust people to be open. We trust people to be honest. We trust people to answer the phone. We trust people to return money or to pay us back. We trust people to be on time. We trust people to actually be able to watch our children or our child or our loved ones or our elders. We trust people in different ways. And we never take time to actually think about the ways in which we want to trust people as opposed to the ways that we expect to trust people. Now, I can almost guarantee you that you have at least one friend or family member or loved one or spouse or whatever that you feel very close to, that you are in a very intimate relationship with, and there is a way that you cannot trust them. What that might look like in real life is that you trust this person to be faithful, you trust this person to keep your secrets, you trust this person with your money. You can all have a shared bank account and you trust what's going in it and coming out of it at all times. However, this is not the person you would call if you broke down on the side of the road, because they would not know what to do. This is also not the person you call if you need to get somewhere on time, because I almost guarantee that this is the person who's trying to either beat the GPS or who's just inherently late, even if they leave early. Even with their best efforts, they're not going to get there on time. Does that make them a bad person? Does that mean that they're not trustworthy? No. It just means that being on time is a weakness. It just means that knowing mechanical things or knowing how to assist when there is a mechanical issue is not their wheelhouse. It's not what they're strong in. And just as another example, we all have that friend or family member that we're okay with lending small sums of money to. Like, I'll give you $20, but I would probably never give you $500 because I'm almost guaranteed that I won't get that money back and people paying me back is high on my list of ways that I want to be able to trust people in my life. And it's not a way that you can trust them moving forward. It doesn't mean that they're untrustworthy individuals. It just means that there are aspects of who they are as a person that you can't trust. Now, are there those deal breaker trust things that you have? Yes, but you get to decide that as an individual. If your deal breaker trust for your friends is that they aren't able to keep your secrets, that they gossip about other friends with you, if that is your deal breaker trust for them, then that may not be someone you would trust in those arenas or in those areas. And that may cause some contention in your relationship, and it may determine whether you continue in a relationship with this person. But we have to be willing to identify the different types of trust that we value. And we don't all value the same types of things. You need to determine for yourself the areas of trust that you need from the individuals in your life. Trust, again, there are different types of trust. There are different ways that we trust people, and it is on a varying level. I want you to take some time to sit down and actually think about who are the individuals in your life that you trust, and why do you trust them? And what are the levels of trust that you need to have in individuals in your life? What values determines what aspects of trust are important to you? Again, is it someone being on time? Is it someone who's faithful? Is it someone who doesn't gossip? Is it someone who's able to keep your secret? Is it someone who's supportive? And do they have to be that person 100% of the time? Or are you okay with them being that person 75% of the time? What does that look like for you in your life? And if you're able to identify that, then you may be able to identify individuals you want to continue to maintain a relationship with in your life. And you may be able to identify individuals that you may not want to continue to maintain a relationship with in your life. And also understanding, what is my relationship to you? And how does that determine what level of trust I give you, or what level of trust I would like to have in you? And also analyzing the trust we have in ourselves, because sometimes we struggle to trust ourselves. We struggle to trust ourselves to make the best decisions for ourselves, to be able to keep ourselves safe, to be able to maintain our emotional stability. We struggle to trust our own self sometimes. So with that understanding, I can almost guarantee you that there is not a lot of people in your life that you trust with every aspect of who you are as a person. And does that mean you are surrounded by untrustworthy people? No, it means that you are clear about the people you have in your life, and those that you have in your life are those who are able to be trusted in the ways that you need. What I hope you learned from listening to this video today is that trust is not an all or none thing. It's not a black and white thing. And there are different ways we trust. There are different types of trust, and there are different relationship-based trust aspects. And you need to understand that for yourself. There is no one size fits all when it comes to trust, because we individually have our own value systems, and we get to determine how we want to trust people in our lives and what we value in those individuals as it relates to you being able to trust that person. You get to decide that. And maybe that'll get you to a place where you learn to understand that I don't trust this person in this way. And because I don't trust this person in this way, I can no longer value this relationship, and I can no longer allow this type of relationship to maintain in my life. On the flip side of that is, this person has shown to be very trustworthy in all of the areas that I value as far as trust is concerned. This is a valued relationship in my life, and I want to maintain this relationship. When we vaguely say, I should be able to trust you, and we're not really clear about what that means for ourselves, then we find ourselves looking for something or holding on to something that is not really clear why we're holding on to it or why we don't trust it. So I thank you for taking the time to listen. As always, please feel free to jot down any questions or concerns you have below, and I'll be seeing you again very soon. Thank you.